What's up, people? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 solo carry rogues in Rogue Company right now. We're going to be ranking these rogues from worst to best, and we're going to be looking at A tier and S tiers for the most part because we're looking at the best solo carries, right? Stick around to the end because we're also going to talk about some honorable mentions here. Let's go ahead and jump into it. At number 5, we need to go ahead and talk about Seeker. Seeker is definitely a top tier solo carry rogue. He has the ability to get a ton of vision on the map, right? If he uses his bow and arrow and you're good with angles, you're able to basically get vision on anybody that is on the flight path of your arrow, which can be devastating for a team. Now, if you pair this with the fact that you also have the sticky sensor, you are able to basically have vision on multiple parts on the map because you can have 2 of those. Now, if you pair this with the bounce nade, you can deal some serious damage to people. We all know that the bounce nade is pretty much one-shotting people, and even if you have tenacity and headstrong, it's still dealing massive damage to you, which makes it easy for Seekers to go ahead and clean you up. And the last thing that we'll talk about here are going to be his weapons. He has the Sahara and the Aaron, both very powerful weapons. The Sahara deals great damage at that close to mid-range with that fire rate, which just shreds people down. And then you have the Aaron, which deals 48 to the head, 32 to the body, has that crazy fire rate. All in all, he is definitely a A-tier solo carry rogue. Number 4 on our list is going to be Kestrel. Kestrel is such a good solo carry rogue because she has such explosive potential. Her drone strike allows her to clip corners, to completely cut off certain access points, at least for a short duration, and if you get lucky, just completely decimate somebody if you can catch the wall right next to them or if they're trying to hide behind cover. This allows Kestrel to get more 1v1 or 1v2 fights instead of having to go against a full team if the rest of your team is kind of trash. If you pair this with the fact that she has replenish, she's basically able to get her stem shot back and her bounce nade back every time she gets somebody out of the game, which means that she will always have those on hand as long as she can get to her resupply pack, which is devastating. We all know the damage that a bounce nade can do, and being able to start regenerating your health instantly makes her a very hard opponent to take down. Now, also add on the point that she can get $1,000 extra per down. Even if your team is behind, you can still be on par or even ahead of the enemy teams as far as equipment and upgrades go, which will allow Kestrel mains to kind of stay in the fight and really hold their own. Taking this all into consideration, we're definitely going to put Kestrel as a A-tier solo carry rogue. The next rogue on our list is going to be Ronin. Ronin is a OG rogue. She's been in the game since the beginning, and she is definitely one of the most versatile, just strongest rogues in the game. One of her features that we need to talk about is going to be the ballistic knife. Her ballistic knife has gotten several buffs over the last couple of months. First one being that now if you hit somebody directly with her ballistic knife, it deals 250 damage, so similar to a Simtex grenade. This alone can completely devastate a team if you time it correctly. You can also use the ballistic knife as a trip mine. If somebody runs into it, it'll deal 100 damage, and even if people do not run into it, if you put it in a great spot, people will still have to destroy it or just completely avoid that position, right? And when they destroy it, it alerts you to where they are on the map. Ronin also runs underground, which is going to make it extremely difficult for Talon mains to find where she is. This also makes her an excellent counter flanker. She's able to catch those rogues that are trying to flank around, and even teams that have like Dallas or Lancer, Ronin can still go toe-to-toe with them even if they do know where her location is. The last point to make about Ronin is that she has the frag grenade and also smoke grenade, so she has that combination where she's able to deal some heavy damage with the frag and also cut off line of sight with the smoke grenades, which makes her a great rogue for almost any comp, any situation. Ronin's going to be there to help that team get the dub. Ronin definitely falls under a S tier solo carry rogue. Next up on our list is going to be Dahlia. Dahlia is by far the most versatile rogue in the game right now. Dahlia is basically able to link on to any person on her team that she would like, and she also takes their ability. So that means you have a Lancer on your team, you can go ahead and take Lancer's ability so that you can roll, reload, and keep on firing. You're also able to res the person that you are linked to without having to touch them, without even having to look at them technically. You can turn around and start shooting and putting down fire for your teammate that's trying to get up. Now, Dahlia also has Lifeline, which basically makes it where she can res somebody in 2.5 seconds. This is extremely dangerous and puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team because they team know that if they don't secure those downs, that person is going to be back up and in the fight very quickly. Dahlia makes this very difficult because she has two of the best guns in the game. The MXR, which was nerfed a little bit, but still hits very hard. And the objection, which is also receiving a buff in its next patch, is a laser beam. And if people are running up, the closer they get, the more effective the objective is going to become. So she makes it very hard for people to actually be able to push and finish her teammates. Last point to make about Dahlia is that she also has the frag smoke combination, meaning that she can cut off line of sight, slow people with those smoke grenades obviously, but the frag grenade is also great as a deterrent and also getting cheeky downs when people are trying to push or when people are trying to camp, take cover. Dahlia is going to be able to flush those people out. Dahlia definitely falls under a S tier solo carry rogue. The last rogue on our actual list is going to be Fixer. Now we all know that Fixer is a slayer. It's the reason why he was banned from competitive for a bit here. Now let's go ahead and start off with his sniper. The tier is devastating because of the ease in which you can use it. It's very forgiving, right? 60 to the body, and the fire rate is incredible, meaning that you can get 2 shots off very quickly, deal 120 damage, which if somebody doesn't have headstrong, they're going down, and even if they do, they're one shot. So if your teammates are even somewhat in sync with you, they're probably going to get that down. Second thing to note about Fixer is that he has the smoke and he also has the C4, which are excellent combinations for deterring people. And when you add the fact that he has thermal vision, he's able to see through that smoke, push people aggressively if he wants to, or take shots from distance with the sniper or the Deadeye. Fixer also has bounce back and headstrong, which makes it very hard to take him down, especially if you're not close to him. And even if you do get close, the Warren and the baseball bat are both very viable close range options. Fixer is definitely a complete unit, and if you are hitting headshots, you are definitely going to rip through a team very quickly. Fixer definitely falls under a S tier solo carry rogue. Now, I said if you made it to the end of this video, I was going to do some honorable mention. So I have a couple of rogues that I want to throw onto this list that I'm not going to explain as in depth, but I do want to mention them. The first rogue on the honorable mention list is going to be Phantom. Phantom, in my opinion, is still one of, if not the best slayer in the game. The full body comes with 4 sniper shots off the rip, and if you are hitting headshots, you can completely decimate a team. The thing with Phantom is, though, that she is such a skill-based rogue. While Fixer is a bit easier to use, more forgiving, Phantom is not. If you are not hitting headshots, it is going to be very difficult for you to get those downs. The next rogue on the list is going to be a Lancer. Lancer is definitely a slayer. She's all about that aggression, that momentum, getting in there and ripping through the enemy's backline. The thing with Lancer, though, and why it's hard to solo carry with her, is that if you're up against a competent team, they are always going to be watching that flank. And Lancer is a lot less effective when you don't have a team that's actually applying pressure on your enemies, allowing you to get there and actually rip up their backline, right? If people are expecting to see you, if they have the leisure time to watch out for you, it makes Lancer's job a lot harder, especially if she can't get into a relatively close range. Next up on this list, we're going to go ahead and put Scorch. Now, Scorch is definitely a powerful rogue, but she has been nerfed a lot, and I think she already had a lot of counters in the game for her before she was nerfed, right? If you're running glitch, if you're running anybody with EMP grenades, or if you just avoid her for 10 seconds, it takes away a lot of the power that Scorch has. Even a really good Scorch can't do anything if they can't get to you if you are actually coordinating with your team and building accordingly. The last rogue that I want to put on this list is going to be Vi. In my opinion, Vi is one of the strongest rogues in the game right now in team play. If you are trying to solo carry, meaning that your team is just not doing very well, it's going to be a lot harder to really win a game with Vi. Vi applies a lot of pressure. She blocks off certain points. She allows your teammates to get in there and really wreak havoc while you are controlling the map, right? If you don't have competent teammates, it's very hard to solo carry with Vi. She doesn't have anything in her kit that really allows her to just completely dominate people, right? The Nightshade is a great weapon, but it's not the best weapon. Her shotgun is very meh. Being able to drain people's life is great as long as you can secure those kills and isolate people, right? But if you're getting team shot, it doesn't matter if you have them at 75 health. You're not going to outgun 4 people. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know if you think my list was correct, or should I add or take somebody off. As always, thank you for watching. This is Lord, of course. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace, 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 peace.